Namaste, and thank you very much for joining us on this beautiful winter's day in Stroud. It's about 1 degree out here, so not far off peak summertime temperature in the UK nowadays. And you've joined us for our series of videos where we look at the inherent benefits of yoga. Benefits that go beyond the physical improvements in strength and flexibility and the mental well-being. And I remember when I was a young child, going back about 30 years ago now, so when I was about 9 or 10, and I took a real interest in the daily horoscope that you used to get, and I think you still do, in the back of newspapers. So every day my mother would buy the newspaper, and after she'd finished reading it, I used to go downstairs, pick it up, rifle through the pages and find those daily horoscopes and just read them. It's probably what sparked my interest for astrology in these days. And after a few weeks I noticed that there was a phone number that you could call. So one night, in the dead of night, I plucked up the courage and I creeped out of the room. I went down the creaky staircase into the kitchen, because this is a day when there wasn't mobile phones. And I picked up the landline, had the newspaper next to me, I saw the number and I called it up. And I'll never forget this because it stuck with me for the 30 years. An automated voice came on. It was a lovely lady's voice, and she said, "Your life is like an onion with many layers in a fridge." And I laugh now, and people I tell the story to, they laugh when I say that line. But she wasn't completely wrong. And reason being is this: from a relative worldly point of view, we are layer upon layer of different attributes and qualities. For instance, we have a name. We're either male or female. We have likes, we have dislikes. We have all of these things, and they all constitute different layers that make up us, what we call as us, ourselves. And there's nothing inherently wrong with any of this stuff. But from yoga's point of view, we're none of those things. And what yoga does is it shines a light onto them. Now, it doesn't do the work for you. You have to put in the sincere dedication and effort. But what it will do is present these in a light and show their true self to you. Problem is this, and why this is beneficial, is because sometimes we get so stuck and we identify with these things to such an extent that they start to define us and we can't move away from them. And what happens is, although there's security and comfort in these things, they start to become layers and bricks that build up the prison that we build up around us. For instance, I could give you an example. So when I was looking at these horoscopes and things like that, I'm 9 or 10 years old, I didn't really have the big existential questions in mind. It was really more when I was going to get a dog, or if Manchester United were going to win the league that year. But with a football analogy, there's some supporters of different teams that are so strict in their support, they might not speak to someone else from another team. Take, for example, Manchester United fans or Liverpool fans. But in doing so, you prevent yourself from experiencing all the beautiful things that knowing someone from somewhere else, you might receive. Another example would be, for instance, cars. There's some people that say, "I'll only drive black BMWs. I won't go anywhere near Mercedes-Benz." Again, Mercedes cars, wonderful car, but you don't get to experience that because you become so short, and just your vision of the world and your part in it just narrows down to such an extent. So what yoga does is, by removing slowly, or rather shining a light onto these things, it gives you the option of what you want to do with them. It will present them in their true light, and then it's up to you. Like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with our likes and dislikes or what makes us up as people. But you have the choice then. It's almost like when we started to learn how to swim. We stay onto the side of the pool, we hang onto the edge because there's safety and security and comfort there. But we're done with treading water now. We're on the path of yoga. We want to learn how to live to the full extent and find out everything about ourselves and the world around us in its true light. And that's what yoga does. And that's one of the main inherent benefits of yoga, and a beautiful part of it. Thank you. Join us again, and we'll do another video where we look at the inherent benefits of yoga.